The Independent Communications Authority of South Africa, or ICASA, to go ahead with plans to reduce the cost of one mobile cell phone operator transferring a call from their company to that of a competitor, known as mobile termination rates. What many of us are unclear about is how this is going to affect you and I, the consumer, when we use our cell phones. After much of the misunderstanding as to what this means for all stakeholders, and in particular the consumer, joining me now in studio to unpack all of this is Nomvuyiso Batyi, who is a councillor with ICASA. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you, Nan.
The first question I need to ask you is, am I going to benefit? Am I now going to benefit if I pick up my phone and I say I'm going to phone, I'm on Vodacom, but I'm phoning Cell C, do I pay less or not really?
Not really, because the charges that have been reduced are between the operators. So each operator has a discretion as to whether to pass through that saving to its consumers. In the last round, that is in 2010, we saw Telkom Mobile and Cell C having effected, they were the first ones to actually ensure that their customers get the benefit of the reduction that we introduced. Yes, other operators as well followed suit, but it does not necessarily mean that by the month end, people that are on contracts will get cheaper calls, or prepaid customers will get more value for their
money.
Yes.
So I was under the impression that we would, as a consumer, benefit from all of this. So what you're saying is that, in a nutshell, more Cell C and Telkom are benefiting more than the consumer
at this point, but Telkom Mobile and Cell C and all the other small operators can take that benefit, which they have done in the past, and pass it through to their customers with new offerings. We haven't received any filing for new offerings, but it's still within their discretion as to when and how they're going to implement the pass-through to end users.
What does this mean for MTN and Vodacom, though?
It means MTN and Vodacom will still have to compete with Cell C. And it means that the competitive landscape, it's going to be almost not the same for them.
Yeah.
But the more smaller operators are slowly catching up with them, especially Telkom Mobile and Cell C.
So in a way, the consumer could benefit because we're finally going to see some competition in the market.
Yes.
And we might just be able to be offered better deals, better contracts, and, you know, just at the end of the day, we do benefit, but
yes,
not from this ruling.
No, not necessarily from this ruling,
Okay.
Because the competitive landscape, it's like operators watch each other. They watch the action. Then whoever is the first mover, that person will have an advantage over the other when it comes to subscribers. And we have seen that happening. Whoever is the last mover actually loses more subscribers.
Yeah.
So we hope with this round that the competition will be even more greater than the previous round of 2010 up until 2013. In
the next 6 months, what does the authority envisage that some of the challenges could be?
Okay, from our side, the first thing that we always have experienced is delayed tactics from the bigger operators. However, we have, we're developing a plan. We've sat with our attorneys. We're still, even after this meeting, I'm still meeting with them. We are developing a plan, the plan that will say, this next 6 months, what sort of concrete information are we going to require from MTN and Vodacom? And once we have that information, then possibly there'll be further reductions warranted in the market for the next couple of years.
Putting this current court case aside, what do you believe ICASA should be preparing right now on behalf of consumers?
What we are planning to do on behalf of consumers, we want to deal this current financial year, the differential between on-net and off-net, wherein let's say for you, when you call Vodacom to Vodacom, your calls are actually next to zero.
Yeah.
When you're calling, we are a Vodacom subscriber to MTN, your costs are skyrocket. We want to do an inquiry as to what is the main cause of that and how can we minimize the difference between on-net and off-net calls. That's the next challenge that we're dealing with. The next one, the other one is when we want to look at internet broadband costs,
yes,
as to how much, because we know people are concerned about
data.
out of, yes,
cost of fortune.
That's what those are the plans for the next for this round. But for the next 6 months, we are solely going to concentrate on the court ruling and how we implement it.
Okay.
Because that's the major thing at this point.
Thank you for talking to us. I think giving us a lot of clarity on what this all means for us at this point in time. So let's just say thank you very much to Nomvuyiso Batyi from ICASA. She's a councillor there, just talking to us about this ruling on Monday.